A big part in this. I get clients coming over with their children sometimes, and I think that's quite a good idea because they see exactly what they're taking on. But at the end of the day, maybe not very romantic, but maybe a very practical thing to do. At the end of the day, the children aspect is very, very important though, from both parties. A lot of men will come to me and say, one, I don't want to meet any ladies who want to have children. And then I'll say to him, well look, I think you should go for introductions to ladies who are 30 and upwards, because you'll find that quite a high percentage of those probably don't mind whether they do or do not have children. But if you go for ladies under 30, you can probably find invariably maternal instinct kicking in, obviously. They want to have a family, they want to have children. There's a great attraction for Thai ladies to meet and marry Western men, because at the end of the day, the resultant children are often extremely good looking. You only have to look on the media in Thailand or in the newspapers, etc., and you'll see a lot of the actors and actresses on the Thai TV channels are Anglo-Thai. The resultant union between the two cultures provides very good-looking children usually. That's a bit superficial, but that's another little thing that's sticking there in the background, and it makes an attraction for the Thai ladies. Going back in the circle here, the Western man has to be upfront and say, I want children, I don't want children. If the answer is I don't want children, we will not introduce him to ladies who want children. Sometimes men come out and say, well, I'd like to meet a lady with a child. I'm quite interested in doing that because I'm sterile. I cannot have children anymore or whatever, and I've always wanted a child and whatever, so that can occur as well. But usually the man will come out and he'll be upfront and he'll say, yes, I'm looking to meet a lady with whom I can have a family, in which case the world is his oyster. He can go for ladies from 20, well, again, age has to come into this, but he can go for ladies at an appropriate age differential, so right into the 20 age group, 20 to 30, and there'll be no problem there. Another aspect that has to come into this regarding children is the perceived ability of the man to support the children at a later date when they come to his chosen country. Therefore, I have to look at the income of the gentleman, and if his income is borderline in my mind, I will say, I think you're better to go for ladies, who haven't got children, or if you've got children, it's better really that we maybe wait or look into see some other ways we can address this problem. But to answer your question, income comes into it as well, re the children. We like to be totally upfront with clients in every way so they know the whole picture. If you have a Thai wife, you will find it's almost inevitable she will come to your home country initially, minus her child or children, but it will have been pre-agreed at a very first meeting. When gentlemen have a meeting with the lady, they put all their cards on the table, all this sort of thing, and the understanding if there's a dowry, and what's going to happen with the children, if they'll come to the country or not. It's likely, though, that initially the lady's children will remain in Thailand, and at a later date, subject to agreement, the child or children may or may not come to live in the gentleman's home country. But we put all our cards on the table from the start.
Why is it that many of the ladies on the client's page of your website often appear to be more attractive than the majority of the available ladies on your website?
Well, remember, the early bird catches the worm. I say that quite often on my brochure and website. At the end of the day, I always say to clients, if you can't find any ladies at all from almost 1,000 ladies on our website that in any way give you any good feeling in your heart that you think that's the kind of lady I'd like to meet, maybe we're not the service for you. But at the end of the day, what I will say to you is if you find some ladies that you like on our website, you can virtually certainly guarantee that there will be many others that you will meet out here who have not made it as far as the website. And the reason is they haven't made it as far as the website simply because they've been snapped up by a guy who's out here, and the lady's just been accepted for our books that day, and they've seen this lady in the office and saying, you're nice, I'd like to talk to you. And of course that liaison can take place straight away. You know, they can have an interview and decide if they want to consider going out. So the man who comes out here is in the driving seat. I would say perhaps 30% of the men who come out here end up marrying ladies who they haven't picked from the website or a brochure, but they've just seen, who've just come in. Therefore these ladies haven't been photographed, they've never got as far as our brochure, they've never got as far as the website. That's the way it works.
Although of course you accept Western men from all over the world, why is it that you only deal with Thai ladies based in Thailand?
We like to deal exclusively with Thai ladies domiciled in Thailand. We find it much easier to cross-check and find out about these ladies when they're living in Thailand. We don't advertise for ladies, we get them invariably by word of mouth. So it's very easy to find, well, that lady works in my company, or she's my workmate, or she goes to the same school as you, as my brother's sister, or something like that. We can cross-check very easily. We do not deal with UK-based or any other country-based Thai ladies, because if you come back to the old scenario that I mentioned in an earlier question of gentlemen who have maybe bought those ladies, maybe not always, but sometimes in quite many circumstances, bought ladies over who've maybe been into the bar culture, the bar scene, and then that marriage has disappeared, and we've got no way of knowing what that lady is really about. We can't do any cross-checking. We're not private detectives, but it's much, much easier for us to get a good feeling about the lady and good information on the lady if she's domiciled in Thailand.
How do you answer the commonly held belief in the West that if you marry a Thai lady, you marry her family as well?
That is the commonly held belief in the West. Now, what I say to clients is this: at the end of the day, the ladies on our books are living and working in Bangkok. They're probably earning a modest salary by Western standards, and they're probably sending about 30% of their income back to their family in the country. Or if they've got children, same thing, sending money back to the family. At the end of the day, that is the way Thai culture works. Unless a gentleman or lady is working in Thailand.
How do you answer the commonly held belief in the West that if you marry a Thai lady, you marry her family as well?
That is a very commonly held belief in the West, and superficially that is a good thought for people to have. But what they have to actually fully understand is that these ladies are actually living and working in Bangkok invariably, and sending maybe 30% of their very humble salary by Western standards back to their family in the country. These ladies, when they come from Thailand and they come to the gentleman's new country, whatever that may be, will invariably want to be able to do some sort of part-time work so they can still send a little bit of help, financial support, to their family back in their home country. Now, the reasons for this are sound in as much as in Thailand, unless a gentleman or lady works for the government or the military, almost invariably there won't be any pension plans or any benefits or anything like that for them to fall back upon if they fall upon hard times. So the onus invariably falls upon the child. And if a child comes to a gentleman's new country and doesn't send any money back at all, they're going to say she has Jai Dam, which is a stone heart. At the end of the day, I say to gentlemen, you do not support the whole family. What you will find yourself doing only is if you say to your wife, I don't want you to work at all, I want you to stay at home and be a housewife. She's going to say, well, I still want to be able to send some money back to my family, the same as I did in Thailand. Then and only then is the man going to have to consider, yes, he's going to have to put his hand in his pocket then. But that is not invariably the scenario, because the ladies are not scared of work. They will often do some part-time work so they can still send some money back to the family. So only if the man specifies, I don't want you to work at all, then yes, he's going to say, well, how am I going to send some support money back to my family? But you're not supporting everybody in God's dog. She's just going to want to send the same amount of money as she did when she was in her home country, and that's only a natural thing to want to do.
What would you say are the most important requirements for a Thai lady who meets and marries a Western man by a Thai professional when she is in her new country of residence?
Right, I would say the 3 F's: faith, food, and fidelity. Fidelity goes without saying. These ladies expect the gentleman to be faithful, and she will want to be faithful to the man. Food is very important to Thais. Thais love their food, and one of the things I actually say to a gentleman when he brings his Thai lady over to his new country is that go to a Thai restaurant, go and have a Thai meal, talk to the chef, find out where he buys his ingredients for cooking, find out where the Thai temple is. Now that's bringing me on to the third point: religion, faith. It's important for the Thai ladies that they're not Bible-bashing fanatics in religion. Buddhism is a very laid-back, what goes around comes around type of religion. But nevertheless, every month or so the lady would want to be able to perhaps go to a local Thai temple in the gentleman's home country, and so that she can go and see the monks and maybe do a little meditation or whatever. So it's faith, food, and fidelity.
Why does the term mail order bride feature so prominently in your website? Isn't it a rather pejorative term to describe what you do?
Yes, it is a pejorative term, mail order bride, in the strictest definition of the word. But I would say this, the term mail order bride, in inverted commas, first of all, there's no such thing as a mail order bride. I mean, that just doesn't exist. But at the end of the day, mail order bride is a term that the media always will latch onto, and it's a term by which many people will find what we do in the first place. So it's a two-edged sword. I hate the term mail order bride. Yes, it puts people off. But I'm trying to explain, we have that term on our website because it's often a term that people associate with the idea of finding a wife from a foreign country. But there is no such thing as a Thai mail order bride or any other mail order bride. At the end of the day, the gentlemen go out and they meet ladies they choose ladies that they wish to meet. But it's a two-way street. It's not just a case of a guy saying, I want to meet this lady, and we're going to meet together and go and get married. It's nothing like that whatsoever. Everybody has to be singing from the same song sheet. It's not a scenario. It's not like phoning up and dial a pizza and say, this number 4296, can you send her over to me in Australia? It doesn't work like that at all. It's a two-way thing. The ladies can be just, and are often, as picky as the men. So yes, although the men will initially select ladies, it's not a mail order bride scenario. He's selecting ladies from our brochure or from our website, but he's not saying, right, that's the one I want to come to my country now, send her over. He's saying, I'd like to have an interview with that lady when I go over, and if we get on well, consider going out, and then she will then decide whether she thinks she wants to go out with him or not. It's a two-way thing.
Isn't it rather unrealistic scenario for a man to come to Thailand for just a week or so and find himself flying back, having got engaged during that time? Surely that's a little bit like speed dating Thai style.
It does sound like that, doesn't it? And especially when I say that quite a high percentage of my clients get fixed up within 2 or 3 days and find a lady that they eventually end up marrying. But I can assure you, our service is for 12 months with a contract. If a guy is, all right, if he finds a lady he likes on the first or second day and it goes well, all right, you could define it as speed dating, but we're not marriages at speed, because if a guy likes a lady and she likes him, they will spend time together, they'll keep in touch, he'll go home, he'll come out again, they'll spend more time together, and then they'll decide if they're moving forward or not. So it's certainly not speed dating, but we do have quite often rapid success. It's very, very likely, probably 98% likely, that a guy who comes out here for a period of 10 days or a fortnight will have found a lady that he likes sufficiently to ask us to take her off the books, and he will get engaged to her. He'll buy a modest engagement ring. Then he'll have to go back and fulfill emissary requirements of keeping in touch before making a second trip to consolidate the relationship. So it's certainly not speed dating Thai style.
Rather unrealistic scenario for a man to come to Thailand for just a week or so and find himself flying back, having got engaged during that time. Surely.
Yes, we have done that for a handful of clients, probably less than a dozen. But I mean, I would say that is perhaps the acid test, and will perhaps in many respects confirm the quality of our service. If we can find Thai wives for guys who live in Thailand, we can find wives for anybody. At the end of the day, it confirms what I'm trying to say on this film, that it's very difficult to meet decent, gainfully employed Thai ladies in Thailand. And the fact that men come to me who are domiciled permanently in Thailand, maybe 3, 4, I had a university lecturer who'd been in Thailand for nearly 7 years, and he still came to us to find a partner. So, I mean, that is the acid test. The fact that men will come to us, the fact that men have to come to us if they live in Thailand confirms the fact how difficult it is for guys to just come out here and just meet a lady at the drop of a hat, unless they have assistance from people like us.
What checks